I just got back from the first ever run of the year. Maybe my first ever intentional run ever. The only time I really ever remember running for myself, was when someone was making me run. So, like in school, in primary school, or later on in like a gym class, or later on in a dance class, maybe. But running for myself, running just because I know that it's healthy for me, because it builds me up, it gives me those endorphins of exercise. I have always craved to just be the kind of person that would do it. Yeah, I just casually get up at 6 in the morning and I just go for a run. I've seen people my whole life just outside of my window, like just running around, running in the afternoon, running in the morning, like waking up super early. And I always have been so jealous of their ability to like do these things so easily. And of course it's just one picture, like I don't know these people, I don't know, maybe it's the toughest thing in the world for them to get up every morning, but it has been my goal for so long to work on my physical health. And part of this definitely is working on things like running, something that again I've had such a negative outlook towards, and it's been always like, ugh, I have to do this, I have to go to the gym, I have to work out. And I really just am ready for that next chapter in my life where I just feel these things, because I genuinely know that they bring my health, like they maintain my health, they let me grow, they let me grow in my confidence of myself, in my strength, and doing things I didn't think I was able to before. And I've definitely had moments in my life where I had these episodes where I was really going to the gym or really dedicated to a dance class or whatever it was. And those classes like absolutely changed me. Like the moment that you realize that you're capable of doing things, especially for me, again, it's always been kind of like the main thing has been for me like kind of a difficulty with sports, with working out, with just moving in my physical body. And this is something I really want to change. Like you can probably see on the little corner of my screen over there is my vision board. And you can see at the tippity top I have like all the things I want to achieve with my physical health. And this is a thing. I was just thinking about this in my bathroom. I was like, it is such a blessing that it is a good thing to be healthy nowadays. Like it hasn't always historically been like that. Imagine if being healthy and doing these things, moving your body, exercising, imagine if it was like deemed as really bad, or like people didn't encourage you to do it. They're like, no, it's like you shouldn't do that. Like imagine what kind of health that the world would be in. It's so important to have these things as a part of our lives. And yeah, it just made me think like how lucky are we that we live in a time where being healthy is like amazing. It's like looked upon as a very good normal thing. You know, your doctor is going to be happy when you go in for your checkup every year because they see that you have this mobility, that you have the intent of moving your body and growing for yourself. And this is something I've always also stuck on to, which I think has kept me kind of stuck. The thought that I am doing all of these things to achieve a certain appearance. Oh, I'm going to the gym because I want to look like this. And it doesn't even have to be like physical beauty or anything, even just like, oh, I want my arms to look toned like this, or like that person that I saw, or I want my stomach to look like this, like all those different kinds of things. I want to build muscle here. And I think that anyone can relate to this. I used to think that it was only women that struggled with this, but that I learned that is just so not true. Everyone struggles in their own ways. And some people it's a big thing for them. Some people don't even think twice about it. Everyone has their own story and everyone's a little different around it. But what was I saying? I was saying that coming back to all of this, it's all about that consistency and that discipline with yourself, I think. And again, that's what's been missing for a lot of my life. It's like I'll have little spurts of this energy and I'm really excited. But again, it was always kind of like, oh, I'm going to look like this. Oh, I'm going to gain this skill as a dancer. And it was like, that's fine to have a goal in mind, but if you live just by your goals, you sometimes, like, in the whole process until you get there, you feel like you're not good enough. Like, oh, I'm not going to be good enough. The things that I'm doing day to day don't matter because I'm not seeing the physical results in my body. So, therefore, you're more likely to quit early on. And that's the thing. I think we need to rewire our mindsets around how we see like achievements and when we achieve things and our goals and such. Like, especially when it comes to the body and stuff, you know, we see so many videos and stuff titled how to have abs in 1 hour, how to do this, how to do that. And it's like sometimes it is like your physical body is harboring some kind of trauma, or like there's like physical healing that needs to be done like on a spiritual level. Like, I've heard of so many stories like that. But overall, if we think about it, we want that, again, that same consistency, that same desire. But I think we're just looking at it through an incorrect lens. Think about like when we talk about the S&P 500, for example, or like index funds in the stock market. And when we talk about that, people are constantly like, this is money you're not going to see at least in the next 10 years. If you want to see any kind of value come out of it, you just like go like, I don't want to say like pilot mode, like what's it called? Like autopilot mode. Not necessarily that, but like you just have the repetition and the consistency. Every month I'm gonna put $100 in. Every month I'm gonna pay $100 off of my debt. Every month this, like, and it just becomes like every month on the 20th, I know that my bills are going to be paid in for all of my subscriptions, whatever it might be. And we have that, and we know it. And we know, again, in this example with the stock market, we know that we're not playing the short game. If you want to play the short game, like, it's a lot more risk involved. You know, people do that. People's job is that. But if you're just trying to build wealth over like a long period of time, you have to just be consistent with it. And it's not about like necessarily climbing the mountains or doing the greatest things or achieving the biggest like goals of you running a marathon or doing a triathlon. It's not it's not the vision of achieving your goal that's going to get you there. It's going to be the confidence that you get every single time that you do move your body, every single time that you stretch, that you do a little ab workout, and that you go outside and you run or you walk for an hour or whatever it is. And you know, you're going to build up your own schedule as to how you're going to move your body and all of that. But I think we need to have more emphasis on the fact that every day, like, we're doing something hard, but just that constant reminder, you can do it, you can push farther. And that's the thing. That's why a lot of people get personal trainers or take classes or get coaches, because it's hard to do this on your own, especially because a lot of our bodies are just brought up in the habit of, I don't want to move, I don't want to do anything. It's easier, it creates more like pleasure, it creates more dopamine to just sit on my phone for 3 hours. You know what I mean? But the endorphins that you get from something like exercise is also something we've all experienced. We've all gone into some kind of workout class that we like were kicking and screaming to go. You were like, this is the last place I want to be. But you came out of it and you felt so good and you were like, thank God I came to do this. I did this for myself. But whenever we're in like workspaces with other people, with a coach or a trainer, whatever, that becomes easier because you have someone at your side telling you in your ear, you can do this, you got this, push harder here, take a little break right now. And it's easy to be directed in that sense. I 100% see the appeal to that, and I've done that for most of my life. Like, I can do these things if you tell me to do them on my own. I don't know about that. But like, you do need to also get to a point where if you're not doing it for you, if you're not doing it because you are the voice inside of your own head that is telling you that you can and you should be doing this for your health, then you're always going to be kind of susceptible to like just having to wait until someone comes around and tells you that you're good enough or powerful or strong enough. And if we live like that, like, I mean, you can, people, I'm sure, like, just do that kind of thing for the rest of their lives. But what's the challenge there? Like, if you're looking for an additional kind of challenge, like that self-motivation and that discipline, like, once you're able to carry that out, it gives you confidence like no other thing in the world. You just automatically now believe that you can do these hard things. And even like with a trainer and all of this stuff, or like a coach, a teacher, I've had experiences where it was like completely life-changing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so capable of doing so much more than I even thought. But if you can do that like with you and hold that discipline for yourself, again, maybe it's not going to be the first time you go into exercise, but if you're able to do that, you are like a rock star. I'm admiring you right now. And if today is the first day that you ever do that, again, today was the first day I think I've ever intentionally run, like because I just knew that it was going to be good for my health. And so if you're able to do that and just say, I'm deciding to do it, and give yourself those constant affirmations and reminders that you're doing amazing, that what you have to give is so valuable. We got to do these things, you know what I mean? And back to the whole talking about physical goals that we have because we want to achieve a certain kind of look in our body, or we want to enhance something, or whatever it is. I just think we need to get back to the point where you're doing it just because you know it's good for you. You're playing the long game. Just again, like the stock market example. You're playing the long game, and you know that it's going to take time. And I think that's something I feel like I've always kind of had a misconception about. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, I'll do this exercise for 3 or 4 months. Like, I'm going to see huge results. And normally people that give up, it's always just around the corner from their results, but they give up because they're not seeing any. So that's why we can't focus on the result. We can't focus on the goal. We have to focus on the everyday, and we have to just burn it in our brains that we're doing this not to look like anything. I could look worse after exercising. I could, but I would still choose to do it because I'm just so committed to living my longest life, to being around for my family when I'm older, to, you know, having relationships build still, and enjoying life, being able to travel when I'm older. And we say like older, but I mean, we see people at all ages getting all kinds of sick and illnesses and stuff. And I think that everyone can attest to the fact that they just, especially older people, are like, I just wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have just picked up a jump rope and started jump roping a couple times a day. And I'm just here to remind you that the small things that you're doing are building the big, huge goals that you have. And it's hard to see that, again, because you don't get that gratification every day. You don't get the result of, oh, today I went for a run. Today, oh, wow, I'm looking like this. I'm looking like that. So don't rely on that. Don't rely on the fact that your body is going to change at all, even. When you go into it sometimes like that, being like, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just doing this because it's good for my health. I want to do it. I'm committed to doing it. That's when you, I feel like, get the most results, because you're also really detached from the situation. You don't have to constantly be worrying about what's happening and feel like you need to constantly be in control of yourself. Like, you just let life do its thing. You just let your body do what it needs to do. So stop relying on those goals, and just looking to the future and just saying that you want this and want that. Give yourself praise for everything that you're doing, all the small steps along the way, and remind yourself that steps after steps after steps equals people climbing mountains. You know, it's literally just steps upward. But we look at someone that's climbed Mount Everest, for example, and we're like, how did they do that? It was literally one foot in front of the next. And it was training and it was hard work. But I think anyone that's done any kind of like extreme form of movement like that, like doing a marathon or whatever it is, like the battle is so much more in your mind than it is in the actual skills. Like, our bodies are made to be resistant. The amazing things our bodies are capable of are indescribable. If we knew just how amazing our bodies were and how much they can endure, we would realize, oh, so actually the only thing stopping me is my mindset, because our bodies are so much more capable than we think. There's that David Goggins book I read a couple months ago, Can't Hurt Me. And David Goggins is like an astounding person, you know, been on so many podcasts and talk about his experience with like the physical hardships that his body has been through and all the things being in the Navy SEAL and everything. And he was saying that, I think it was that the actual difficult thing is, I can't remember exactly. I think it was like 40%. Okay, no, it was this. Whenever you're at like, I cannot move anymore. I cannot do one more push-up. I cannot run one more block. Whenever you're at that point, you are at 40% of what you're actually capable of doing. 40%, not even halfway there. 40% of what you're capable of, meaning that 60% that's taking over and saying that you can't do it is all your mindset. So think about how important it is to align ourselves with our mindsets and be encouraging to ourselves. If we don't have that, we don't get to be in our physical bodies. You know, it starts with your mind. It starts with your mind, and then that leads to movement in your body. With all that being said, I'm so proud of you. Get out there, start doing the things that you think are so hard that you don't know how you're going to do. Flip and start somewhere. Stop comparing yourself. Stop looking at other people. Literally zone out and go like blank if you need to. You are worthy of being there for your health. You're worthy of standing up for yourself and living to the age that you want. 130 years old. That's what I always say. I'm living to 130. So with all that being said, thank you for watching today's video, and you've got this.